William Shakespeare's Macbeth is one of the most profound tragedies in English literature, and its titular character, Macbeth, exemplifies the archetype of the tragic hero. A tragic hero, as defined by Aristotle in his Poetics, is a character of noble stature who possesses a fatal flaw, hamartia, that leads to their downfall, evokes pity and fear in the audience, and ultimately brings about a cathartic resolution. Macbeth fits this mold, but his journey as a tragic hero is uniquely complex, shaped by ambition, moral decay, supernatural influences, and the psychological unraveling that follows his actions. At the outset of the play, Macbeth is presented as a figure of high status and virtue, fulfilling Aristotle's requirement that a tragic hero be of noble birth or stature. He is a Scottish nobleman and a valiant warrior, serving as the Thane of Glamis. In Act 1, Scene 2, a wounded sergeant describes Macbeth's bravery in battle against the Norwegian forces and the traitor MacDonald.
For brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage. 1.2.16-19.
This description establishes Macbeth as a heroic figure, admired by King Duncan and his peers. Duncan rewards Macbeth's loyalty and valor by naming him Thane of Cawdor, further elevating his status. Macbeth's initial nobility is not merely social but moral. He is a man of honor, respected for his courage and loyalty. This high stature is crucial as it sets the stage for his dramatic fall, a key element of the tragic hero archetype. Macbeth's tragic flaw, or hamartia, is his unchecked ambition, which becomes the driving force behind his actions and eventual downfall. While ambition itself is not inherently negative, Macbeth's inability to temper it with moral restraint leads him to commit heinous acts. The witch's prophecy in Act 1, Scene 3 ignites this ambition by proclaiming that Macbeth will become king.
All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter. 1.3.50.
Though the prophecy plants the seed, it is Macbeth's own choice to act on this ambition that seals his fate. His internal conflict is evident early on when he contemplates the moral implications of murdering Duncan.
I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself, and falls on th other. 1.7.25-28.
Here, Macbeth acknowledges that his ambition is the sole motivator for his actions, yet he proceeds despite knowing the moral cost. This moment highlights another aspect of his hamartia, his moral weakness.
When you durst do it, then you were a man. 1.7.49.
Macbeth's inability to resist these pressures reveals his susceptibility to corruption, making his ambition a destructive force that propels him toward his tragic end. While Macbeth's ambition is his internal flaw, external forces play a significant role in his downfall, adding complexity to his status as a tragic hero. The witches, or weird sisters, introduce a supernatural element that both tempts and manipulates Macbeth. Their prophecy sets the course of the play, but their ambiguous nature, they neither command nor explicitly instruct Macbeth to act, raises questions about free will versus fate. Are the witches the architects of Macbeth's downfall, or do they merely catalyze his pre-existing desires? The answer lies in Macbeth's response to their words. He chooses to interpret their prophecy as a call to action, revealing that the seeds of ambition were already within him. Lady Macbeth is another critical external influence. She acts as a catalyst, amplifying Macbeth's ambition and pushing him to overcome his moral hesitations. In Act 1, Scene 5, she calls upon dark forces to unsex her and fill her with cruelty, demonstrating her own ruthless ambition.
Come, you spirits, that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe-top full of direst cruelty. 1.5.38 to 41.
Her influence over Macbeth is profound in the early stages of the play, as she manipulates him into murdering Duncan. However, as Macbeth's actions spiral out of control, he becomes increasingly independent, making decisions without her counsel, such as ordering the murder of Banquo and Macduff's family. This shift underscores that while external forces ignite Macbeth's ambition, his tragic flaw ultimately drives his choices. Macbeth's descent into tyranny is a gradual but inevitable process, marked by a series of moral transgressions that alienate him from his initial nobility. After murdering Duncan, Macbeth is immediately consumed by guilt and paranoia, as seen in his reaction to the imaginary dagger and his inability to say Amen after the deed.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. 2.2.35 to 36.
This moment marks the beginning of Macbeth's psychological unraveling, a key feature of his tragic arc. His guilt manifests in hallucinations, such as the ghost of Banquo in Act 3, Scene 4, which further destabilizes his mind. As Macbeth commits more murders to secure his power, Banquo, Macduff's family, his paranoia intensifies, and he becomes a tyrant, feared rather than respected by his subjects. Aristotle notes that a tragic hero's downfall must be the result of their own actions, and Macbeth's choices clearly lead to his demise. His decision to trust the witch's subsequent prophecies, such as, "No man born of a woman shall harm Macbeth," 4:180, breeds overconfidence, blinding him to the real threats posed by Macduff and Malcolm's forces. By the end of the play, Macbeth is isolated, having lost his wife, his allies, and his moral compass. His famous soliloquy in Act 5, Scene 5 reflects his nihilistic despair.
Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, creeps in this petty pace from day to day. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player, that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. 5.5.1924.
This speech encapsulates Macbeth's tragic realization of the emptiness of his ambition, a moment of self-awareness that deepens the audience's pity for him. A crucial aspect of the tragic hero is their ability to evoke pity and fear in the audience, leading to a cathartic experience. Macbeth's journey elicits both emotions. We pity him because he is not inherently evil. His initial nobility and his visible guilt humanize him, making his fall all the more tragic. And his internal struggle, his awareness of the moral implications of his actions, further deepens this pity. At the same time, Macbeth inspires fear, as his story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the corrupting influence of power. The audience fears the potential for their own flaws to lead to similar destruction, a universal concern that resonates across time. The catharsis is complete in Macbeth's death. In Act 5, Scene 8, Macduff confronts Macbeth, revealing that he was from his mother's womb untimely ripped, 5.8 feet to 16, thus fulfilling the witch's prophecy in an unexpected way. Macbeth's death at Macduff's hands restores order to Scotland as Malcolm ascends the throne. The audience experiences a release of tension, having witnessed the consequences of Macbeth's actions and the re-establishment of moral order. Macbeth's status as a tragic hero also serves to explore broader themes in Shakespeare's play. His unchecked ambition highlights the destructive potential of human desire, a theme that resonates with Renaissance audiences grappling with the tension between individual agency and divine will. The role of fate, embodied by the witches, raises questions about whether Macbeth's downfall was predestined or the result of his own choices. Shakespeare seems to suggest a middle ground. While the witches' prophecies set the stage, Macbeth's decisions drive the action, emphasizing his moral responsibility. Additionally, Macbeth's transformation from hero to tyrant underscores the corrupting influence of power. His initial loyalty to Duncan is replaced by a thirst for control, illustrating how power can erode moral integrity. This theme is particularly poignant in the context of Shakespearean England, where political instability and the question of legitimate rule were pressing concerns. Macbeth is a quintessential tragic hero, embodying the qualities outlined by Aristotle while offering a uniquely Shakespearean exploration of human nature. His noble stature, tragic flaw of ambition, and eventual downfall evoke pity and fear, leading to a cathartic resolution for the audience. External influences like the witches and Lady Macbeth complicate his journey, but it is ultimately Macbeth's own choices that seal his fate, reinforcing the play's themes of moral responsibility and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Through Macbeth, Shakespeare crafts a timeless portrait of a man undone by his own desires, a story that continues to resonate with audiences centuries after its first performance. His journey from heroism to tyranny and back to tragic dignity exemplifies the timeless nature of Shakespearean tragedy, making Macbeth one of the most compelling tragic heroes in world literature.